What's going on, everyone? Anthony here with AC Toys and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are reviewing Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin SNIZZARD. He is the second figure of this deluxe wave, the first one being Time Force Blue and the Vector Cycle, which I did on Friday. If you want to see that, the link will be up there in the top right corner. If not, I'm pretty sure it'll be somewhere in the recommended section down below. Moving on to the box, here we have the new standard windowless packaging. We have a 3D rendering of the figure front and center, digital artwork of these monster. I was going to say Ranger. The monster right here in the corner. That same artwork that wraps around to the side. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo at the top. 3D rendering of an action pose. 3D rendering of the figure with all the accessories that he comes with. According to the box, he's 7.5 inches tall or 19 centimeters. Legalese here at the bottom. More legalese here at the underneath side. Barcode if you guys want to start scanning these at your local Target. I did see this weekend that people were starting to find this wave and wave 12 in their local Targets, so never hurts to ask. On the other side, it is like a greenish color with the Mighty Morphin SNIZZARD logo, Power Rangers logo, yada yada yada. Anyways, nobody likes this new packaging, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way and see how cool the figure actually is. Okay, so here we have SNIZZARD out of packaging, and he does come with very few accessories and a slight bit of assembly, just like the Vector Cycle. So first and foremost, let's go and take a quick look at his accessories. First off, he comes with a, what is this, like a snake lasso? It's been so long since I've seen the episode. But according to the box, you just kind of like port that into his hand, like so. And then he has a little snake lasso. Then next up, he has this little, I guess not a snake lasso, but like a snake accessory that you could wrap around the Power Rangers, like when he threw it at the Rangers. I wish it came with like a couple more. I guess you can kind of like wrap this around. Not as well as this would wrap around. I really do wish I had a couple more of these in the box. That would have been really nice. Wait, how many is it supposed to come with? Yeah, so one. It's supposed to just come with one, so that's not too big of a deal, but oh well. Next up, he comes with the little bow and arrow, the snake bow and arrow. Unfortunately, mine is a bit warped out of packaging. Kind of one of the downsides of them being packaged in a little baggy and then just kind of shoved into like a little slot. They do, like if they just kind of go into like that, they get warped. Obviously, you know, a heat gun and some warm water will like form it back. But it's just something like you're paying $35 for a figure for. You really shouldn't have to like do that much to it. Anyways, I wish they would do what the G.I. Joe figures do. They kind of like sandwich it in between two hard pieces of cardboard before they package it in, and that way it doesn't get bent during shipping. I don't know. The Power Rangers team is killing it with these packaging, even though like there's still some flaws with them, but still the best out of all of them, I have to say. I have tried to like put this into his hand. He doesn't hold it very well, in my opinion. But like if you can like just kind of like, or like he holds it well, but like to pose him, like because he doesn't look silent. See that? I don't know. Not the best accessories, but I'm glad it came with it. And then he also comes with his little lightning effect. I don't remember him blasting it from the top of his head. I could be wrong. If somebody wants to correct me on there. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen the episode. But it just kind of ports up there. I assume that's when Kimberly, spoiler alert, I guess, Kimberly shoots the golden apple on top of his head to like destroy it or whatever. And I'm assuming this is from that. I don't exactly remember. Like I said, I don't remember if he ever blasted anything from the top of his head, but that's what I'm assuming it is. It's a nice little effect piece. I really like it a lot. Then the last accessory he comes with is his tail. Now this tail does have a bendy wire, so that I will give him credit for. But where I don't give him credit for is that it's not very bendable. Like you got a good amount at the tip right here. But for whatever reason, that's about as far as it goes. Like I don't know if like that's all it's meant to be. There's a slight bend that you can do right there, but like for the most part, right about here and back is where it's really bendable. The back isn't. And then this is the assembly I was talking about. There is a dumbbell peg right here. Just got or ball peg. Sorry, not dumbbell. Could be a dumbbell. Just ports right in, real easy, and there you have SNIZZARD. Fun fact, if for you guys didn't know, SNIZZARD was voiced by Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad, Malcolm in the Middle, and of course he also came back years later to be Zordon in the reboot MMPR movie. So, little fun fact. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he owed a favor to Saban, so he voiced it for free or very cheap or something like that. Or maybe it was just him getting into his first acting gig. I'm not 100% sure, but I am sure that it is Bryan Cranston. So, fun fact of the day. Let me know if you knew that down below. A lot of people didn't know that. I tell people Bryan Cranston was in Power Rangers before the movie, and they're like, oh, what are you talking about? He was the voice of Snizzard, and I think a couple other monsters, but I think his first one was Snizzard. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to details. So, moving on to details of this figure, just like every other monster we've gotten so far, his sculpting is amazing. The only downside is that he doesn't come with a wash to really bring it out. And I know a lot of people, they do their own black wash, and I had done black washes on figures before. It's just something about these Power Ranger figures I don't want to attempt it on. Not that they're hard, it's just that, I don't know, I don't like doing that type of work on like my expensive figures. If you guys seen all the custom black washing I've done, it's been on cheaper figures that like if I mess up, I mess up. No big deal. But the fact that if I mess this up, and I know it's hard to mess up a wash, you just wipe it off, rinse it off before it dries. So not big of a deal. It's just, I don't know, little in my head sort of thing. Anyways, as you can see here, he has his golden apple, which is sculpted very nicely on top right there. His little crown or whatever. The scaling on top of his head or nose, whatever you want to call this, is done very nice. There's a slight weathering with the darker blues, but I kind of wish they would have did that throughout. That would at least been something, right? Like up here to match down here, that would have been great. You have this great, like, I don't even know, like leathery almost look to it on the back. Nice little pattern right here, all the way down to his tail. You got these nice little spikes or teeth going down the side of him. Scales up front. These scales that go down his arms. The little snake heads. Glad they painted the eyes. That would have been, that they could have easily been like, no, thank you. Nice little inside gum work right there. The snakes that wrap around his legs are done very nicely. Sculpted very nicely. Yeah, guys, like the sculpt worked on these nice little semi-translucent gill fin. I don't even know what this is. Dorsal fin right here is done very nicely. And then the inside work of his mouth is done very nicely. Could really use a black wash down in here, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll get more into that in articulation. So, yeah, guys, once again, this monster line is amazing. I know a lot of people... they haven't been complaining about so much so far, so I'm not going to say that they still complain about it. I'm pretty sure there's somebody who doesn't like it, but I know a lot of people back then when these first started releasing, they didn't like the scaling of the monsters. They're saying they're too big, not screen accurate, and I get that. You know, a guy in a suit can only be so big, I assume, while still moving around. But once again, I love this line. It is probably my favorite part of the entire Lightning Collection line are the monsters, because one, we never got any as a kid. We got a few, right? You know, you got like your main baddies. You got Goldar. I think you got like a Squad and Babu. You got like a Lord Zed. They weren't very articulated, obviously, back in the 90s, but you didn't get all the monsters. You got some. You just didn't get them all. And I think what they're doing is they're picking the fan favorites, obviously, and then they're picking a lot of monsters that we never got as a kid. Or they're picking the monsters that we did get a kid and bringing it into a new era, which I truly appreciate. And once again, I love the scale of these figures. I want my big bads to be big bad. You know, I need a good reason for these teenagers, you know, besides for them facing off on a monster, that they need to go into these suits that give them extra power, you know. And like, if the monster's the exact same size of them and they already know karate, I don't really see it. But that's just one reviewer's opinion, one Power Rangers fan opinion. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to articulation. So moving on to articulation, he doesn't have that much, obviously. That is one downside of these monster figures, is that they don't have a lot of articulation. But where they do have it, it's good. So obviously you have his mouth, which does open about that much of the normal way. There is a rotation at the upper part, so I'm not sure when you would ever need that, but that is there. Obviously, like I said, the jaw opens and closes. You have a ball jointed shoulders. We'll go all the way up like that, like he's partying. Single jointed elbow. Does rotate inside the shoulder blade, so you get full 360 there if you need it. Full 360 at the shoulder, or not the shoulder, the elbow. So that is one benefit of single, is that they do rotate. You have wrist rotation. We'll do a full 360. We'll hinge in a very good amount. Hinge out another good amount. No upper torso. You do have an ab joint. We'll look back about that far. Forward about that far. We'll do full 360. There is rotation at the tail because it is on a ball joint. And then, like I said, there is a bendy wire in here. So, very tip of the tail does move. Very. Oh, is it a bendy wire? It almost clicks. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can. You can't hear that, but there's almost like a clicking feel. So I don't know if that's like a ball joint in there. But either way, you get about that much. It's probably bendy wire because they do have these breathe holes. Anyways, you get about that much. You get no real splits in it. We'll kick forward about that far, back about that far. Let's see, upper thigh swivel. We'll do a full 360 if need be. Single jointed knee. We'll rotate at the knee. You do have an ankle swivel, so it will rotate at the very top of it if you just kind of like pinch it and rotate like that. And then you have ankle rockers. Mine are kind of loose, so it'll go forward, back, side, side. Peg holes at the bottom. Okay, point of interjection with the mouth. Can't believe I completely missed this after I said I was going to talk about it. So, Future Anthony here, letting you know that the mouth does open. Not a huge fan of this gap right here. Not sure if they could have did anything about it, honestly. But when you fold it down like that, I guess, I think it kind of flapped like that in the show, if I'm not mistaken. But this mouth does open and close. So that is there. So back to Pass Anthony. So yeah, guys, not all the articulation of a Ranger, obviously, but a good amount for what it is. This guy isn't doing any acrobatic flips or whatever. So good enough for me. Love the monster line. I really hope these do continue to come out. So let's go ahead and move on to size comparisons. So as far as size comparison goes, here we have him next to the MMPR Kimberly and the In Disguise In Space Andros. As you can see, he stands a good amount taller than the rest of the figures, and that was the initial complaint that a lot of fans have, but I love it. I love seeing this guy tower over my Rangers. So anyways, moving on. All right. Here we have him next to the new female body, Dino Charge Pink, and then the Toei Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure. And then for a last size comparison, here he is next to the other figure in the deluxe wave is the Time Force Blue and Vector Cycle. So a quick thing I wanted to point out that a subscriber, I don't know if he subscribed, but as a commenter mentioned, that a lot of the people's packaging for the boots on Time Force Blue, I don't know if you see it right here, the I guess the line design is supposed to be forward, and that like it looks like everybody's was rotated backwards. And I did look at mine, and this is how it was on both sides. So quick interjection: if yours is backwards, all you got to do is rotate it forward, rotate the ankle forward, and it's normal. It's not put on backwards to where you can't fix it. I think that guy was like really concerned about his or whatever, but that's the benefit about having a boot cuff swivel, is that they just rotate, especially when like the boot design is very static and not like one-sided design. So I forgot who you were. I mentioned it in the comments. You didn't seem to reply because I did fix it off camera, but now I just want to show it on camera. So you don't have to worry if yours is backwards. All you got to do, rotate it around, flip the ankle around, and you're golden. Anyways, let's go on to final thoughts. So moving on to final thoughts, is he a smash? Is he a pass? Guys, I highly recommend this figure. Just like all the monster figures, there hasn't been a monster figure I have not recommended yet, except the comic, I don't know, the PulseCon exclusive, what was it, Pudgy Pig. That one I did not recommend, mainly because like the retail release came out so soon after, or actually before, that for you to pay almost double the price for a few food accessories was just highway robbery. I know a lot of people's argument for that was that, you know, it came with the lunchbox. It didn't come with the lunchbox. It came with the box designed after a lunchbox. Had it come with a legit lunchbox that I could have put something in and carried it or given it to my kids, yeah, okay, charge me $30 for that, whatever. But it was cardboard. If you even tried to put any type of liquids in there, like if it got condensation, that box is ruined. Like, it was not a legit lunchbox. Anyways, this figure, I highly recommend. Is it perfect? No, none of the monster figures are. None of these figures are. But when the only thing you're really complaining about is like, you know, a few points of articulation that's gone. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to mention that this opens completely. I don't know how I missed that. There you go. But I'll probably edit that and put it back in so that point of this isn't anyways. Yeah, guys, I highly recommend this figure. If you can get it, get it. I know a lot of these deluxe figures go on sale. So if you're not in a hurry, I hate to say it, yes, this will probably go on sale too. So if you want yours now, I'll leave links down below. And until next time, guys, later.